Perhaps let me start with Bafedile, because I know Bafedile earlier on you said you were moved to the side because it seems there are a bit of limitations in as far as media is able to access due to that scene still being active. But any updates or even feedback on developments from where you stand?
Well, nothing much has actually changed, Melo. It's still the situation still remains the same, where we are seeing officials from government in particular having to be sent down here to bring some intervention. I believe now, from now after the bodies are taken to government mortuary, we just now have to hear from government as to what is the intervention, what is it that they're implementing to ensure that the affected families are really being helped. A lot of them having to be misplaced at this point in time, having to know where to go. So here on the ground, as we sing here, the situation still remains the same, and it's being cleared. But however, pathology officials are still busy on the ground, having to go through the process of having to take the bodies that I saw in the early hours of the morning when we arrived here. Really terrible scenes that I attested, and some of the bodies having to be bent beyond recognition. It's really terrible scene, a terrible day for South Africa today. So the situation has actually no change. We are actually want to hear from government officials as to what is it that they are bringing on the table in order to help the misplaced residents who have actually hijacked this flat here in Marshalltown in Johannesburg CBD. So earlier on I told you, Dumelo, that the officials were inside the building having to do the last round of search to see if there is a possibility of getting more bodies, but they are done. All of them have came out. They are here at the surface now, having to wait on pathology officials, and from there the bodies will be taken to government mortuary. So that is the situation at this point in time, Dumelo. We're seeing also political parties having to come here to support government officials that include MECs from various departments, and also the city of Johannesburg Mayor Kapelo Gwananda. So the situation has actually not changed here, Dumelo.
Yeah, as of course we're seeing, Bafedile, and according to what you are telling us, that it seems that the emergency services are just clearing up in terms of recoveries. I suppose at this point that's when we'll see members of the SAPS then starting with their work. Only now can they officially begin with their investigations as to ascertain what exactly caused this fire. But even though they're starting only now, already the inquest docket has been opened regarding this fire.
Well, as we know, that it's still uncertain as to what exactly could have caused the fire. Earlier on, I spoke to one of the witnesses who was saying that she was really shocked in the morning when she was woken up by a very big fire that had engulfed this particular building, and also having to be scared that this fire will definitely come to our building. That's how chaotic the scenes were in the early hours of the morning when that fire was started. But she said to us that her sister, who is residing in this particular building, has said to her that she believes that fire was started by a candle, because we understand that there's no electricity connection in these buildings, as because they have been hijacked and government does not really care and take care of them to ensure that those who have hijacked them have a proper connection. So a really terrible environment that a number of people who are residing here have actually been exposed to, and in particular kids. Earlier on we spoke to another witness who's staying on the opposite side of the buildings, having to say that it is just a terrible situation for a number of people who have been residing here. They're exposed to the drug addiction in most of the time.
Well, that is a big concern. That's a big concern because one of the witnesses, as you rightfully say, is saying that it's almost like a drug den where drugs had been the order of the day, the use, the selling of drugs out in that particular building. And I suppose that vicinity of, Connor Albert and Dalvis in Marshalltown, like many other buildings, have been, concerns have been raised around drug usage and selling around, the CBD area. We'll continue to have these conversations in as far as eyewitness is concerned.